Everyone, Soundwave 884 here, and what I'm going to do, everybody's doing these tier maker things, so I thought, hey, why not? Because I've actually been on some panels with H&E Games and people like Raz and TF Addict, Input, all of them ranking the Transformer figures from War for Cybertron, which would be like Siege, Earthrise, and Kingdom. I was on the Siege panel. I'm going to be on the next week's panel where we do Studio Series 86 and some of the like store exclusives and stuff. I'm going to be doing that, and we're doing this tier maker. It's like, oh hell, why not throw myself at it and give myself a shot? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually use the tier maker here, and I'm going to rank the Transformer movies into certain things. As you can see here, I got masterpiece for like the best ones. I got great for it was really good, great. That's where it's going. Watchable is where it's decent. I can sit here on and watch it or listen to it in the background. Junk is it's junk, and burn it means it just totally sucks, and that movie should be burned to the ground. So that is the rankings I'm gonna go. Sorry, I need a haircut, and I'm not. It's late at night, but I'm going for it anyway. So before I get more into the video here doing this, if you're watching this for the first time and you're not a subscriber, go ahead and click the subscribe button down below and everything. That really helps the channel out. Leave that thumbs up if you want to see more of these kinds of videos. That just lets me know that this is appreciated and it's what you want to watch. Also, you can become a channel member like Larkin's Lair, Kato's Collection, people like that, Danny Dolphin. I only have 3, so I can remember them all. So let's get into this tier making list here. So I got the movies. Now I'm going to go off the bat and say that Beast Hunters, I have never seen it. I've seen parts of it. I could not really get into Transformers Prime no matter how much I tried. Transformers Prime was something I just it just didn't appeal to me for some reason. But my oldest daughter actually watches it now, a father-daughter thing. I get into it with her that way. So I'm going to leave that one off because I don't know anything about it really. And I guess that's a shame to say as a Transformers fan, but there's just some series I just could not get into, like the Unicron trilogy, Transformers Prime. It's just certain things. It's just tough. We'll skip that. Let's go to the movies here. So we're going to start off in order from release. 1986 Transformers G1 movie. Now you know where we're going to put this thing. You can call it nostalgia. You can say it's rose tinted glasses, but as a kid, it's a masterpiece to you. I mean, it's the most Transformers movie. All these live action ones, there is just too much, I'll say, human elements going into them. So this one here is a straight up Transformers film. Yes, it does rip from other kind of movies, but this movie was so good in just Transformers that my mom, who took me to see it, I went multiple times to the theater. She actually enjoyed the movie and would take us just because we want to see it because she enjoyed the film. So when it came out on DVD the first time when Rhino put them out on DVD, she actually wanted a copy for herself. And so she was really excited for right before Bumblebee was going to come out because she's like, they put like more G1 in this, right? And I was like, yeah. But she didn't live long enough to actually see the Bumblebee movie. But I think she would have enjoyed it more than she watched Transformers 2007. And she was kind of like, there wasn't enough Transformers in it. So, same complaint most Transformer fans had. Two Transformers 2007. And it is watchable. A lot of people are seeing it as the best one of the live actions. It does. When it gets ramped up and into the Transformers themselves, it's a decent movie. You have to look at this as another iteration of Transformers because Transformers has changed. You got G1, we have Beast Wars, we got Beast Machines, RID 2000, we got the Unicron trilogy, animated, all these things. Transformers constantly change. If you wanted this hoping for G1, which I kind of did, we didn't get that. But I looked at it for what it was, what it is, and what it was trying to be, which is a sort of G1 inspired, yeah, but it took from other things as well. It's definitely watchable. Now, some of the humor can be cringy, and that's with pretty much all the live action movies. But the action scenes were good. But it's just, again, they're learning. So Michael Bay's the shaky cam, too close up, you couldn't pull back, and all the Transformers pretty much looked like most of them were gray. Except for Prime, B. Most of them they especially the Decepticons, they look like people call them tinfoil. So that one is definitely watchable, and I used to watch it all the time when it first came out. And I got it on DVD, Blu-ray, and all that stuff. It was watchable. Actually, it was DVD. It was HD. Then later on, I guess Blu-ray. It was definitely watchable. Something I really enjoyed. Now there's a lot of the human bits. You gotta skip some of that stuff. Now we're going to go to Revenge of the Fallen. I remember seeing this opening night in theaters and actually being bored with it. So I'm putting that one in junk. Now it has some really good fight scenes. The forest battle is excellent, probably one of the best fight scenes in any of these live action Transformer movies. It's got, like I said, the fight scenes in the movie are really good. But the movie is made during the writer strike, but it was just all over the place. It was very slow in the middle. I got sleepy and kind of bored with it. And then the ending was just too rushed, and so it was good in places, but again, the humor was turned up to 11, and it was just out there. Now, if you're watching this as a pure comedy, it's funny. If you like that kind of humor, it's a funny movie. But it wasn't to me a Transformers movie that with all that. It's just too much. All right, now we're going to Transformers Dark of the Moon. That one is great. I actually like that one. It probably felt the most Transformer like of the Michael Bay movies. Um, it actually felt like I was watching an episode of the cartoon. Now, take that as you will, because now not every episode of the cartoon was wonderful stuff. The actual Transformers G1 cartoon, Megatron sitting on a Lincoln that was done in, I think, a Rise Atlantis or something like that. And then the whole bring Cybertron to Earth and all that stuff that was done, the Ultimate Doom, things like that. So they used things from the actual cartoon into the movie. And I appreciated that. It was, I would still say, it's the best of the Michael Bay live action Transformer films. The action scenes are good. Again, the movie's a little bit long, but I still think that is the one of the Michael Bay movies. When it comes on, I can sit there and watch it from beginning to end because the humor was dialed back. They still had a little bit too much in the workplace, but it was not as bad as the first two movies, and the parents were toned down again. Now we're moving on to Age of Extinction, and this is where the series took a turn. We got Mark Wahlberg, lost Shia LaBeouf, and then we got this. So we were promised Dinobots. So the last 15 minutes were the Dinobots. Yeah, I say do it right or don't do it at all. So it was a good film. I really did like Lockdown in this movie. Again, this is probably one I would put as watchable. And that's probably, I guess, a lot of people will probably hate this movie, but I love the characterization of Lockdown. Lockdown makes this movie watchable for me. He's a good character, and I kind of wish he didn't die. You could carry him on. I think this movie laid a few seeds for the last night, which I think the last night kind of just ruined them. But this movie here laid some seeds for future films, so it did feel sort of incomplete when you watched it. But I think the action scenes again were excellently done. Some of the better action scenes. Now the transformations were cut back heavily in this movie. That's because Transformers were on screen a lot of the time, even just standing in the background. They did more, I think, with the actual Transformers to keep them on screen, even if they're just in the background, so they're there. But it really hampered the transformations in this movie. Again, Optimus Prime's overly violent, and this is where he turned to even be more violent. And he was violent in the other ones too, but it was just yelling "I'll kill you," stuff like that. It just seemed very out of place for Optimus Prime. Moving on to the last night. Oh, where are we gonna put this one at? Burn it. Uh, Put it this way: I actually saw this movie 3 times in movie theaters. Once on opening night with my wife, and the start of the movie to me showed a little promise. But then it got carried away, and I think they chopped too much out to shorten this. People complain about length. The Age of Extinction was even longer than Dark of the Moon, so they cut it back. So I felt like a lot of the action scenes got neutered. Again, we were watching too much human action, not enough Transformers action. They're just more, again, sort of relegated to background players. A lot of the continuity, like these movies had continuity, but what little bit was there, this movie even crapped on that even more. I think the seeds that were laid in Age of Extinction were just not held properly in this film. Too many cooks in the kitchen with this. But it was nice seeing callbacks to other things, seeing John Turturro show back up, re-show back up. Is that how you say that? No. Show back up in these movies. Again, he was always one of the characters I enjoyed, except for in part two when he has to rip off his pants and you're in his like his jock strap. And that's too much. But to me, as I said, I saw it 3 times in theaters. Once I opened out with my wife, saw it with my brother, then I took my daughter wanted to see. And I enjoyed Age of Extinction and Revenge of the Fallen a little bit more than this one. And it was just, I saw it in theaters. I bought it on Blu ray. I have yet to watch it. I bought the DVD for the special features, and I watched the special features, and that's it. So, yeah. All right, so I'm going to skip the Beast Hunters, go to Bumblebee. This one here, I would put in the great category. It's too much of an 80s cheese fest for me to land in the masterpiece with this, the way the characters are sort of written, with the overly, girly girls or the guys and all that stuff. But the movie, the battle scenes, again, excellent. I enjoyed the comedy in the movie that was done by the Decepticons, Shatter and Dropkick. They were better written characters in this movie. Showed the transformations. We got some G1 goodness on Cybertron. And we got Bumblebee in his original G1 alt mode. And we got to see a G1 Optimus Prime at the end. It was beautifully done as a to please the G1 fanboys, I would say. The G1 fans. They had elements in this movie you could get behind. It was funny. And honestly, I think if this was the first Transformers movie, they did it this way back in 2007, I think we'd be in a lot better state now with Transformer live action movies than we currently are with this. They told a better story in this movie. It was straightforward. Even like John Cena in the film, he made it. He was fine. Now he did kind of go from goofy at points to being overly serious. That's probably the best line in the entire live action movies. It's like they literally call themselves Decepticons. Yeah, seriously. So that is my ranking. Masterpiece, G1 Transformers 1986, Great Dark of the Moon and Bumblebee, watchable Transformers 2007, and Age of Extinction. Probably Bill, like, you put that there. Junk, Revenge of the Fallen, but some of the best action scenes. I will put that movie in just to watch the battles, and that's it. Burn It, Transformers the Last Night doesn't have very much anything in redeeming quality. There are some elements in that movie of things that could have been good, but it's just too much crammed into one movie. That should have been made into 2 parts. That should have been the next 2 films, and sort of broke that up and expanded on certain parts, elements of those stories. And it's just jarring going from Galvatron back to Megatron. What the hell happened to Galvatron? What happened to the transformations? Barricade's back looks totally different. They are Transformers, scan some different alt mode. I can see my phone's going off. All mode I can see, and then why change his face? Maybe he's trying to hide. That's fine, but again, it was so jarring from one movie to the next. I think it had promise, it just didn't land. So that's my list right here. You let me know yours down in the comments below. You can agree with me, disagree. Hey, they're all opinions. We don't have to get feisty with it. So just say, hey, I disagree. That's cool. You don't have to call people names or whatever. But this is my list. So next ones. Peace out.